Good evening, everyone. Today is the 3rd of May, and here are some of the major headlines for the US markets. Enthusiasm for stocks couldn't be higher, with individual investors holding more equities than ever before. This is fueled by the blowout earnings season, the prospect of an economic recovery, and extra savings stimulus checks. Stock holdings among US households even rose to 41% of their total financial assets in April, the highest level on record according to the data from JP Morgan and the Federal Reserve. That kind of optimism has led to the S&P 500 to hit 25 records this year alone, while logging its third straight month of gains in April by adding more than 5% to the index. In the US, a stay investment strategy has tended to outperform, particularly in the recent years. Market composition, with the US markets more tilted towards growth stocks, partly explains the outperformance. US stock index futures climbed overnight, with the Dow up 0.6% and the S&P 500 and Nasdaq ahead by 0.4% and 0.2% respectively. The manufacturing PMI and ISM manufacturing data for April will be released this morning, shedding light on the economic situation before the Friday's big non-farm payrolls report. Investors will also be watching the next batch of corporate earnings, including quarter one results today from Enterprise Products Partner, ON Semiconductor, Realty Income, and Omega Healthcare. A high profile legal battle is set to begin today between Apple and Fortnite creator Epic Games, which will determine how a market should be classified in the digital age. It is one of the biggest cases brought against Apple since the company was founded in 1976, and the consequences could be huge. A verdict could see developers no longer having to do app checkouts with Apple or having to pay a 30% app tax to the tech giant. The legal file started last year when Epic created its own direct payments method within Fortnite, circumventing fees paid for the App Store purchases. Apple then issued a warning to Epic regarding the workaround, but the latter refused to remove it, and Apple kicked the developer off its platform. A lawsuit then emerged, which is finally seeing its day in the court. Executives testifying at the trial will include Epic CEO Tim Sweeney and Apple CEO Tim Cook, though neither side wanted a jury trial, leaving the decision to the US District Judge. Ethereum steals the limelight. It continues to set fresh records high, and it climbed above $3,000 on Sunday for the first time in the history and was last changing hands at $3,097.87, which was up by 6.1% over the last 24 hours. Only a year ago, it traded for around $208, an increase of 1,359%, and this year alone, the crypto is up by 310%. Adding to the gains, Ethereum surged 25% over the past week, and the digital asset now has a market capitalization of about $350 billion. Crypto analysts are pointing towards a broader awareness of Ethereum's smart contract platform, which are powering the landscape of NFTs, Web 3.0 apps, and decentralized finance. While the Ethereum and Bitcoin have not decoupled yet, correlations between the two are shrinking. Ethereum has quadrupled so far this year, while Bitcoin hasn't even doubled, and the ratio between the currencies recently climbed to 0.052, the highest level since the mid 2018. However, Bitcoin and Ethereum are still looked at as the reserve assets of definancing. Pressure is building on the US and other Western governments to suspend intellectual property restrictions on COVID 19 vaccines as an explosion of coronavirus cases rocks India and other nations. Some 60 developing countries, led by India and South Africa, are drafting a new proposal to waive the World Trade Organization's rule known as the trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, which could allow a significant increase in vaccine production worldwide. The new proposal will be put to the organization in the next few days and would echo an effort back in the 1990s that lifted the patents on the AIDS medications. The US economy was restructured in an extraordinarily effective way when the Federal Reserve took actions last year in response to the pandemic induced recession, Warren Buffett said during the Berkshire Hathaway's virtual annual meeting. The Fed moved with speed and demonstrated that they would do whatever it takes to restore bond market trading, which had frozen early in the pandemic. About 85% of the economy is now running in super high gear. Some of the other updates: Berkshire's operating earnings jump, buybacks low from quarter 4. New assessment could shutter energy transfers Dakota Access Pipeline. Dell strikes a $4 billion deal to sell Boomi Cloud business. Tesla is set to delay German production start by 6 months. Big payday for Elon Musk after unlocking ludicrous stock awards. US cannabis stocks to enjoy further upside. Electoral setback for ruling party as COVID-19 surges in India. Now, moving on to today's world market updates. In Asia, Japan closed, Hong Kong down by 1.4%, China closed, and India down by 0.1%. In Europe at midday, London closed, Paris flat, Frankfurt up by 0.3%. Futures at 620, Dow up by 0.6%, S&P 0.4%, and Nasdaq 0.2%. Crude declined by 0.4% to $63.30, gold up by 0.6%, Bitcoin up by 3.3% to $58,640. The 10-year Treasury yield up by 1 basis point to 1.64%. Today's economic calendar includes reports published by the PMI Manufacturing Index at 9:45 a.m. The ISM Manufacturing Index is set to be out by at 10 a.m. and along with the construction spending reports, and at 2:10 p.m. Fed's Williams speech. That's all for today's updates. Thank you.